Hi class, in lesson 3.2 we will be using pattern blocks for fractional representations. Learning targets for today: we will create different fractional representations using pattern blocks. We will write fractional statements for different representations given the whole, and we will determine fractional representations if we are given the whole and if we are given parts of the whole. If we take a look at page 114, problem 1, hexagonal fractions, we are going to complete the table shown and we are going to use our yellow hexagon to represent the whole or 1. So if you take a look at the table, you are going to write down the name of the shape and then the fractional part of the whole and the number of fractional parts to make a whole. So go ahead and complete the table with your group members. Here is what your table should look like. For the first shape, we have a trapezoid. The fractional part is 1/2 and the parts to make a whole are 2. The second shape, we have a blue rhombus. Fractional part of the whole is 1/3 and parts to make a whole is 3. And finally, for the third shape, we have a green triangle. The fractional part of the whole is 1/6 and the parts to make a whole is 6. At the top of the next page, it says that you can place different pattern blocks on top of the yellow hexagon to create another representation for the whole. For example, you can create the design shown. So we have 1 red trapezoid and 3 green triangles. As you saw from the table that you completed, a red trapezoid covers 1/2 of the hexagon and a green triangle covers 1/6 of the trapezoid. So in this example, the red trapezoid covers 1/2 of the hexagon and 3 triangles cover 1/2 of the hexagon. The fraction sentence for this representation would be 1 whole is equal to 1/2 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Now what you are going to do for number 2 is create different representations for the yellow hexagon and follow the example that was just shown at the top of the page. So you will start with the yellow hexagon. You will cover the yellow hexagon with other pattern blocks and you're going to record your designs. There are examples of hexagons on the next page for you to do that. And then underneath it you're going to write a fraction sentence to describe your design. You will repeat the process to create as many representations as possible. Now I am going to tell you that there will be 7 total, including this one that they used for the example. So go ahead and do number 2 with your group members. Here are 4 examples of what your fractional representations could look like. If you take a look at the first one here, it is the example that they showed on the previous page. 3 other representations that you should have. If we look at this one here, we have 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/6. So we would have a trapezoid, a rhombus, and a triangle representing the whole. This example here, we have 2 trapezoids. 1/2 plus 1/2 is equal to a whole. And our next example would be 3 rhombi, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 to represent a whole. 2 more examples then. If we look here at the first one, 2 rhombi and 2 triangles, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. And if we have 1 rhombi and 4 triangles, 1/3 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 is equal to 1 whole. And finally, our last example, if we have 6 triangles, our fractional sentence would be 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 to give us a whole. Let's take a look at problem 2 on page 118. You mean 3 can be 1? So if we recall the title of this lesson, you mean 3 can be 1, we are now going to determine the parts of a whole when the whole is more than 1 hexagon. So let's take a look at number 1. It says the 3 hexagons shown represent the whole. These 3 hexagons right here, or 1. Determine what fractional part each pattern block shape represents and explain your reasoning. So with your group members, I would like you to do letter A through D for number 1. Letter A, we have 1 hexagon. if there are three hexagons in the whole, then one hexagon would represent 1/3 of the whole. For letter B, we have one trapezoid. If there are three hexagons in the whole and two trapezoids cover one hexagon, that would mean that 6 trapezoids are going to end up covering the whole. Therefore, one trapezoid would represent 1/6 of the whole. For letter C, we have one blue rhombus. There are 3 hexagons, like we said, in the whole, and 3 rhombi cover one hexagon. So it would take 9 rhombi to cover the whole, so one rhombus would represent 1/9 of the whole. And finally, for our green triangle, 6 triangles are going to cover one hexagon, so 18 triangles would cover the whole. One triangle would represent 1/18. Let's take a look at number 2 on page 120. We are going to complete each statement. With your group members, I would like you to do letters A through F to page 122. For letter A, if we have one red trapezoid for our whole, then a yellow hexagon is going to be 2, a green triangle 1/3, and a blue rhombus 2/3. For letter B, if a blue rhombus is going to be equal to a whole, then a yellow hexagon will be equal to 3, a green triangle 1/2, and a red trapezoid 1.5. For letter C, if a green triangle is equal to 1 whole, then a yellow hexagon will be equal to 6, a blue rhombus will be equal to 2, and a red trapezoid equal to 3. For letter D, if a yellow hexagon and green triangle are equal to 1 whole, then a yellow hexagon would be equal to 6/7, a green triangle 1/7, and a red trapezoid 3/7. For letter E, if 2 green triangles are equal to a whole, then a yellow hexagon would be equal to 3, a green triangle equal to 1/2, and a red trapezoid equal to 1.5. And for letter F, if a red trapezoid and blue rhombus are equal to 1 whole, then a yellow hexagon would be equal to 1 1/5, green triangle 1/5, and a red trapezoid 3/5. Let's take a look at number 3 on page 123. Now you are going to be building and sketching each representation for the description given. Look at our crew member here, and he is reminding us to think in reverse. What will the whole look like for each description? So keep that in mind as you are building and sketching. Please feel free to use pattern blocks to help you out with this if needed. Let's do letter A together, and then I'll have you do the rest with your group members for number 3. So for letter A, we're looking at a triangle that is 2/3 red, 1/9 green, and 2/9 blue. So remember what our crew member is saying as far as thinking in reverse. Our whole is going to be 9ths. So if we would break up this sketch into all little green triangles, we would have 9ths that would represent our whole. So if we look first at 2/3 red, we have one trapezoid here and another trapezoid here representing red. We have 6/9 that is going to be equal to 2/3. So there's our 2/3 red. If we look then at the next part that we need to have is our 1/9 green. Here's our one green triangle that is going to represent 1/9. And the last piece that we need to have is 2/9 blue. So if we look down here at our rhombus, our blue rhombus is broken up into 2 equal-sized triangles to represent the 2/9. So that is how you have to try and sketch each representation for the description given. So go ahead and do letters B through E with your group members. If we take a look at letter B, here is what your sketch should look like. We have 3/4 blue represented by the 3 blue rhombuses here, and then we have 1/4 green represented by the 2 green triangles right here. For letter C, we need a trapezoid that is 2/3 blue and 1/3 green. So here would represent our 2/3 with the blue rhombus, and 1/3 green with our green triangle. For letter D, we need a parallelogram that is 1/2 red, represented by the 2 trapezoids here, and 1/2 blue, represented by the 3 blue rhombi up at the top. For letter E, we need a triangle that is 1/3 green and 2/3 red, so we are actually going to need 2 red trapezoids and 3 green triangles. That is going to do it for lesson 3.2 on fractional representations. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.